Hi everybody, Dr. Mark Costas here, founder of the Dental Success Institute. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about patient retention. Now, we've talked many times in the past about how valuable that new patient is. The lifetime value of a patient, the way that I figure it, and you can find this in previous videos, is about $45,000 over a 20-year span. And that's based on somebody that doesn't refer a whole lot of people. So if the value of a patient is $45,000, it's really, really important to retain them as long as we can. So when you're talking about retaining a patient, patient retention has to do with experience. Now, the patients have to have an experience that differs from other dental offices, or else they're not going to stay. It's going to be a revolving door. They're going to come in fast and they're going to leave just as fast. So if you want to retain those patients, if you want to put a steel cage around those patients and have them stay for a lifetime, you've got to think about their experience in every stage of their experience with your office. So that means that you need to break down and think about each and every stage of their experience with you. Okay, so we've broken that down at my company into 8 specific stages. All right, the ultimate patient experience has to do with when they call for the very first time to when they leave your office with a treatment plan. Okay, so let's go over the ultimate patient experience. You must master these 8 stages of the new patient experience. Now, the first one is the initial call. Remember, you got to have a 3-ring rule. At our office, there's a 3-ring rule no matter what is going on. If the 2 front desk people are busy, both on the phone or dealing with another patient, we don't want them to leave that patient. But if the phone rings, no matter what is happening, we have whoever is available pick up the phone and at least put them on hold in a friendly manner. So go with that 3-ring rule. It is absolutely mandatory that everybody that picks up the phone is pleasant. Remember, you have somebody that may be calling for the very first time and they could be worth $45,000 to your practice. Make sure that we don't lose them, because there is not a culture that states that every single person that answers the phone is pleasant. Okay, so everybody that answers the phone must be absolutely pleasant and answer with a smile on their face. Now remember, the ultimate goal must be to get the patient into your practice. So we want to eliminate a whole lot of extraneous conversation, be as pleasant as possible, but the bottom line is try to funnel them down to getting into the office no matter what it takes. Get them into the office in front of the doctor. Let them experience how great your service is, and they will become a patient and they will stay for life. All right. The next is the confirmation call, and that's pretty quick and simple, but you want to make sure that the person calling has an inviting tone to their voice. Make sure that it's not something like, hey, we're just calling to confirm your appointment. Bye. You know, it's got to be something like, Mrs. Jones, we're really excited to meet you tomorrow. This is probably on the answering machine. Mrs. Jones, we're really excited to meet you tomorrow. Dr. Costas and all of us are excited to meet you. Your appointment's at 8:30. If you could show up a couple minutes early to fill out the paperwork, that would be great. Once again, we can't wait to meet you. We'll see you in the morning. Simple as that. All right. That's stage 2. Now, the front desk greeting is the first time that this patient is ever going to come in physical contact with somebody at your office. So this is really important. You have to think of these appointments as a job interview, or as, you know, an audition. You're auditioning and you're being interviewed to become their dental practice for life. So you have to create a good first impression. So it's important that the person at the front desk acts as though we were expecting this patient. So as soon as that front door swings open, everybody's eyes go up and we're saying hello. And if you can, if at all possible, even if you've never met the patient before, you want to greet them by name. So if you know that there's 3 people coming in, there's 2 people that have already been to your office, you know who they are, you've greeted them by name. The 3rd person that's coming in at 8 o'clock or 8:30 must be Mrs. Jones. So, hello, how you doing? You must be Mrs. Jones. Nice to meet you. If you would just fill out this paperwork, we'll get you back as quickly as we can. It's great to meet you and welcome to the practice. Something as simple as that, and you have just created a great first impression for Mrs. Jones. All right, the next is the transition back to, transition from the reception area to the back office. Now, most people don't even think of this as an important transition, but this is an extremely important transition, all right? This is their first contact with people that are actually going to be laying hands on them, people that are going to be giving treatment to them. So our back office assistant, when they go to the reception area to greet and to bring the patient back to the treatment room, we make sure that once again they look the patient in the eye and they shake them by the hand and says that they introduce themselves by name. They say, "Mrs. Jones, my name is Amanda," or whatever their name is. "It is great to meet you. Follow me and we'll go back to the treatment room to meet Dr. Costas." Simple as that, but much different than most people are greeted at other offices. Simple stuff. This is free stuff, but if you pay attention to the little details like this, your retention rate will go through the roof, I promise you. All right, the next transition is actually seating the patient. So as you seat the patient in the treatment room, we're going to use this opportunity while they're with the back office assistant to build rapport. And we have these things called yellow sheets, and the yellow sheets are basically a guideline to certain things that we're going to ask, the personal things that we're going to ask the patient about themselves. Do you have any kids? How about pets? Do you go on any fun trips this summer? Do you live around the area? How long have you lived here? Where were you before this? And we don't want to pepper the questions at them. We don't want to really, we don't want the machine gun approach where they feel like they're being interrogated, but in a conversational manner, we want the back office assistant to be able to build rapport. And it's really proven that people will like you the more you let them talk about themselves. So you want to ask open-ended questions and really just get the patient talking about themselves. They'll get much more comfortable with the situation and with your office. So build that rapport. That's really important. Okay, the next stage is introduction to the doctor. Now the doctor is going to come in, and if he does it correctly, he's going to build on the rapport that was already built with the back office assistant. Hopefully they've had a little conversation about Mrs. Jones in the hallway, so they can prompt you on some stuff that she's interested in, and you can go right in and you can continue the rapport building. Before you ever talk about anything as far as dentistry goes, you want to talk to Mrs. Jones a little bit more about herself, get her to open up, get her to know, like, and trust you. That's the whole idea here. Okay, after the treatment or the exam is done, we're going to transition back from the back office to the front office, and the doctor is going to excuse himself, shake the patient's hand, and turn the patient back over to the back office assistant, where the back office assistant is going to walk that patient up to the front office. Now, I've seen this many times, and I've been guilty of allowing this to happen in my own offices. They'll walk them up to the front office is busy, and then the back office assistant will disappear, leaving Mrs. Jones to stand at the counter by herself. So it's policy at our office to make sure that until the front office personnel is available to acknowledge Mrs. Jones and begin working with her in the checkout process, that back office person does not leave that patient's side. So we make sure that the patient is always with a team member and that we're keeping the conversation and the rapport building going, and we want to make sure that the patient never feels neglected or left alone at any stage in the process. Now, after this, we go into a whole other video and training about how to present treatment plans, how to effectively schedule the patient before they leave. But those are the 8 crucial stages of a patient experience. And we want to make sure that we master all of those. In our office, we have set scripts. We don't stick strictly to the scripts, but there are certain bullet points that we make sure that occur at each and every stage of the patient experience. And if you get that going in your office, I guarantee the patients will have a great experience, and your retention will really increase. And that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions about this, you can contact our office. If you want to see what our scripts are at our office and the actual scripts that our people use when they're answering the phone and at any stage of the patient experience, feel free to contact our office and we can get you that information. All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.